So hey everyone, Xanathan back with 1102 One Piece. Just wanted to have a chat. Man, this one's been hard to do this week. I put it off because it was a hard one. It was it was a real hard one. Um, I got my notes here, handy dandy notes. And I've got 5 screenshots from the manga that I wanted to talk about. Um, so if we get going to number one, which is this one here, starting right off, some point throughout the chapter, you have this panel here, which is it was pretty much when I believe, yeah, after Luffy defeats Arlong. So it was kind of like a look back at the um, happy kind of seafaring young boy before all of the crazy, Nika, Sun God, old government, all that kind of stuff. It was just island to island, the seas and all that kind of stuff, which was really cool. This chapter gave me a lot of nostalgia. Even with Usopp there in the back screaming at the one on the poster, I can't remember if that's when he's saying, "Hey, look, that's me," because his head is in the back of Luffy's poster, or if he's mentioning his own poster. I can't remember. Like, to hey everyone, look. I can't remember, but that's a funny manga panel. Um, so yeah, this one brought me back a lot, and the look on Luffy's face certainly takes you back, right? That's the early days kind of Luffy. Now there was also Bonnie pulling up. She's looking for Kuma. Um, it's sad that I've got my notes here. It's sad that he won't see her, so he's hiding, as you know. Um, yeah, he's hiding and kind of keeping a close eye on her throughout her journeys. Not meeting her though, kind of like what we saw Dragon do with Luffy, and um, it's very emotional in a sense. And there was also, let's go over to the next slide now. There was also that panel of Ace saying, "Hey, this is my younger brother," to the Whitebeard pirates. That hit me in the feels as well. I'm sure it hit many people in the feels. This chapter has been, oh my god. Another one was this one. I believe this was when they punch a celestial dragon. I think it is. Um, I can't remember if this is. Oh, Hachi's there. Hang on. I think this is that part during the chapter. It's got Kuma talking about them and yeah, act of high treason. Yeah, yeah. This is when they punch a celestial dragon. Luffy just smacks him so hard in the face. I'll never forget this. And as everyone knows, like, these celestial dragons are these people that are like above humanity. They ride on human slaves. They live in Murray Joyce, which, as you know, is that city up in the sky. And they kind of just trample on humans, and they believe that they're of a higher society, higher order. They are the absolute worst things. And Luffy just like sees what he does, and that's right, he shoots. And Luffy just goes up to him and he punches him so hard in the anime that the show goes into like manga, it goes black and white. I'll never forget that. But the way they were drawn here, I can't remember if this is the original manga panel because I wasn't reading at this stage. I had gone to watching. But the manga looks so sick. If this is not a redraw, if this is kind of like a similar thing to how it was in the original panel, this I had to take a shot of this because, man, look at that. Like, the portraits of each character, the way they're kind of like in stance. That's one thing that I love so much about One Piece. Just the way Oda draws them is just so good. And I've also realized that um, if we were to look at these as, say, there were shots in like a movie or something, um, given if we go back to the first one, like the way Luffy looks here from his stance to his positioning and his face and smile, and this looks like it was shot by, say, one director. Then you go to this one, and yeah, he's a little bit older, but already in the face, Luffy looks different. The way like Oda captures him and draws him, it looks so much different. And it looks like it was directed by someone else if it was, if this was to be a show, in a sense. This is what I love about them. The characters have such distinctive looks based on their emotions and how they're feeling. But they're the same characters you know and love, but they just react to things so incredibly. Um, so yeah, I had to get this because this is just such a sick panel. I was like, wow. This is like tattoo worthy. They're all in stance. They're all in like, let's go. Even Zoro's got the blade ready drawn. Yeah, loved it. Loved it. Let me see my notes. Yep. We had Kuma giving Zoro Luffy's pain. Again, it's a nothing happened moment. Everybody loves that. Um, and he's always checking on Bonnie. Yep, the panels of the crew after Luffy punches the Celestial Dragon. Yep, yep. Yeah, so let's go over to the next one, which was this panel right here. Oh man, if we look at Luffy's face again here, this is in the same chapter. Come on, Oda, this is insane. Luffy again looks like he's not even, doesn't even look like he drew him. He looks like one of the models from like the Pirate Warrior games. Um, the desperation in his face, that Oda portrays, obviously the heavy streaking of the lines, all around, um, the corners of the panel. I also love how he does these, the white bubbles of speech. They have the lines poking out of them to kind of add this glaring effect of dramatic, like of drama and like urgency. And this, as you know, this was one of like a very emotional moment when Luffy's just trying to save everyone, and Kuma's just using his pawpaw fruit, and whoever he touches just gets bazingaed to the other side of the world at different locations. Because as we know, his fruit has the ability to teleport and just blow people off to the other side of the planet. In random locations. So Kuma just touches everyone in Luffy's crew and just this was before the time skip. He just ships them all off into different directions, and they all end up all over the place in the world. And this, I remember, I think this panel is like Luffy when he's pretty much lost everyone because he is the last one to get touched by Kuma. And yeah, it was just an absolute shit show. Not the first time, but probably the first time for me personally where I felt such desperation with the crew. Like they lost, they stood no chance, they got absolutely destroyed. They couldn't do anything, and Luffy had to watch all of them scream for help and scream for him, and he couldn't save them, he couldn't help them. This was a big moment for him as well, in terms of growth, to realize that he's not strong enough. And as Kuma states here in the other panel, he's like, you know, this is just the level of the new world. It's still too soon for the likes of your crew. Like, you guys are just not strong enough. You can't compete in this world on the Grand Line. In the new world, like the pirates out here will absolutely destroy you. So this was a really cool moment, and this panel stood out to me in the chapter. The desperation on Luffy's face is just, it's all inspiring. Like, I'm not even a drawer, and it makes me just want to draw looking at how much emotion he captures, even to like the snots coming out of his nose, and just, yeah. I think as a crazy One Piece fan, we all know this Luffy. We never want to see this Luffy. We've seen this Luffy a couple of times, that absolutely tears balling on his knees kind of Luffy. We don't want to see it. When this Luffy comes out, like, bad stuff has happened. So we really never ever want to see this Luffy. But Kuma was looking out for them and trying to save them. So let's get into the thick of it. Pushing on, moving on towards the end of the trailer chapter. As you know, Kuma's consciousness had to be taken by Vegapunk. Every time I see Vegapunk, I think of watch me not get the name now, Einstein, as if Oda designed him off of Einstein. I love how he looks, man. He's such a cool character. So Kuma sitting there happily smiling. Thank you so much for everything you've done. The crying on Vegapunk in that bottom panel, even in the top panel, but the bottom panel with the kind of reversed, the lighting is very white. very flat lighting look on him. Only a bit of shadowing on his nose, on the top of his nose. Um, I'm not sure what the subtle kind of um, I'm not sure what the message here is, if there is one, because we know how Oda draws in the manga and how he foreshadows or how he kind of gives messages, hidden meanings, etc. There is a very dramatic lighting in these scenes, almost like like an angel kind of lighting kind of thing. Um, so yeah, Vegapunk is just he's been instructed to flip the switch and remove his free will. The clones of Kuma, at this point are pretty much complete. Um, uh, PX or whatever they are. Oh my god, I forgot now. The Pacifista clones of Kuma, they're complete, and Kuma got to keep a bit of free will. Obviously, he saved Bonnie. Um, he traded his free will and to be turned into a weapon of the government. Who just follows orders to save his daughter. We know why he did it. Heartbroken. Um, as a father, like this stuff ruins me. This is probably why it took so long this week to put this out. No, it really ruined me this chapter. Um, and yeah, this is just Kuma saying thank you to Vegapunk, and Vegapunk tells him he's a hero. You know, hey, you listen to me, Kuma, and listen good. You are a hero. The tears coming out of Vegapunk, and Kuma's just smiling there in the back in the top panel. Um, and in the middle panel, he's also sitting there smiling. Um, the lighting on the characters at the bottom, Sentomaru, everyone's got this kind of bright light. It could be that maybe that's just a machine because technically, yes, technically in the top panel, his arms are up. In the bottom panel, his arms are down. So he's pressed it at the bottom panel and he's on his knees there kind of screaming. Yeah, so when this gets animated, I probably won't even want to watch this. I'll just cry. There's not much else to say about this. Kuma is truly selfless to save his daughter and the sacrifices he's done, especially for Christ's sake. Let's move on to the next one. In the final chapter, yeah, this is how the chapter ends. The final page, sorry. So he flicks the switch, and he tells Vegapunk at the end, literally like they promised on the 10th birthday, if you see Bonnie, tell her I wish her a very happy 10th birthday. And this panel right here, um, Bonnie's on her knees, crying, screaming. And if you look at Vegapunk there, not Vegapunk, sorry, at Kuma, this is the Kuma that we've seen. Those cold eyes, the frowned mouth, that's the robotic. All his free will is essentially switched off now. Um, very, very cold. The difference between that Kuma here in the top right, this Kuma here saying "Say Vegapunk, thank you," smiling, and then flick the switch and bang, and he kind of goes into the Kuma that we all know, warlord holding the book. Um, it's very sad. Um, essentially, he freed Bonnie. She's cured. Her illness is gone. Um, at the cost of his own kind of free will. There was a little part in the chapter about um, Saint Saturn telling Vegapunk, "Hey, listen, you need to flick the switch now. Flip the switch. Don't retain anything." And Vegapunk was like, "Oh, I've developed this technology that kind of lets like instant transmission between mental states or something." And he's like, "No, we want no free will. I'm a scientist as well. Don't you dare absolutely do that." Blah blah blah. And he kind of just, yeah, I still believe Vegapunk has done something. Um, I don't know if this is the end of the flashbacks. I think there's still maybe one more. I don't know. Um, I'm not too sure at the whole guessing forward, and I'm here for the ride. So I don't know how Oda's gonna go about it. I mean, we'll see in 5 days from right now recording. But this has been a cold chapter, full of emotion. Showing Kuma's life and how he's checked up on Bonnie and how he's been there for her and kind of from the shadows. And You know, it reminds me of that panel with Dragon when he's looking at Luffy, and Kuma's like, "Why are you watching this boy?" You know, obviously being Luffy being Dragon's son, and Dragon turns around to Kuma and he's like, "If you want to see me dead, keep asking questions. Like, children are a weakness." Um, and Kuma's like, "I understand. I will never ask about it again." You know, very very dramatic conversations happening. So, my heart broke for Bonnie. My heart broke for Kuma. Kuma is just such a beautiful soul. What he's done for his daughter, it's just dramatic what they've done to him. He was just an absolute weaponized. Um, yeah. Then you got the whole Buccaneer fact, and you know it's there's gets very complicated. But he's been weaponized essentially, which is very sad. And those cold eyes in that panel break my heart. But look, um, I don't want to take too long. The summary here is 1102 was amazing, was full of beautiful, you know, callback, sorry, you know, kind of references to the past and emotional touches of things we've been through. You know, very a very beautiful chapter to read. It took me a while to get to put this video together because I've been very emotional from it because it does hit hard. Um, but man, this is One Piece. You know, when now we're gearing up towards the end, this is going to get out of control. There is a lot of anger from a lot of places, and yeah, there's going to be it's going to get really crazy when the story starts to sum up and starts to wrap up, and with Oda being putting this together for so many years, so much work and preparation, yeah, truly is the greatest story ever told. But anyways, that's gonna be it for 1102. Um, I'll try be a little bit more on time with the next chapter. Man, this one just hit hard. uh, Thank you all if you're still here watching, listening. I appreciate it. You know, the chapter, the show right now, the channel is just One Piece. I'd like to maybe do some videos on some other stuff, but right now I'm just having a good old time uploading what I think of the latest One Piece chapters and taking it from there. Always love the comments. I put up a couple shorts just to see how they go, and I had some people comment and love talking with everybody. So yeah, no, it's One Piece is the best. Thank you so much for watching. If you've hung around for the whole video, thank you so much for listening. And yeah, I'll see everyone when the next chapter releases in a handful of days. And yeah, all the best.